Oh, God.
What?
I'm just screaming, "Raise thy lantern, pioneer," to myself, and it's really satisfying. Fuck, I love Final Fantasy 16 so much. It's awesome.
You
Shit.
made that up. That's
I
not.
did. I did. So,
Yeah.
drinks check. What are you having? Because I've got
Well,
exciting drinks as well.
yeah. So I've got a whiskey soda over here in my
Delicious.
mug. It's a whiskey Dr. Pepper, obviously.
Obviously.
And then I've got some weed.
Fascinating. That's actually. Do you know what's crazy?
What?
You say you have blank drink soda all the time. Soda water in the UK is a thing, and when someone comes to the bar and says, "Oh, I'll have a whiskey soda," it's a whiskey soda water. Or like I'll have a vodka soda. It's not because obviously soda is a
Yeah.
means
That's also the correct
that's
way to
also
order
the
a
thing.
whiskey soda here,
Oh, you're
and
just
I
saying
actually
you'll
have
a
been
soda. Yeah.
horrified in the past because I have ordered a whiskey soda, wanted a whiskey soda, and was given like a whiskey and Coke.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and that's
Wrong to
horrible.
me. Yeah.
No,
Must
no,
have been new.
yeah. No, I do. When I'm not at a bar, I do call like soda pop soda by default. Even though it's not the same. But then I also have a weed drink.
Nice. Perfect. So I have a vodka no mixer because
A vodka nothing. Okay, great.
I have two mixers. There is a gas station near me that does fun drinks, and I go in there occasionally to see what fun drinks they have because I like it. It's where I get my weird combinations of things, such as two drinks I didn't know existed until today, about 2 hours before recording. I got a sour Skittles, just liquid sour Skittles, and then I have an Oreo flavored Coca-Cola.
I bet that fucks. I think that it's silly for them to call it that because it's clearly just a cream, like a cream cola. But
smells like Oreos. Isn't that weird?
I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Fuck, that's not shit. Actually, I was hoping for a bigger reaction on our TV show, but that's actually pretty strong. I like that.
You were hoping it would be bad?
Yeah, why would I buy the two of these if I thought they would be good?
Yeah, that Skittles thing is going to be a nightmare, and I think that you
I don't know,
should
man.
try
I love
it for
sour
my
Skittles.
amusement right now.
I'm gonna do that. Ooh, grip and rip it, baby. Oh, it smells like battery acid.
Yeah, I bet it tastes
smells
like it too.
really bad. It's actually weirdly perfumed, and I hate that.
Yeah, can't wait for you to die from the eventual spiral that this puts you on. Yeah.
How you liking that, audio listeners?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna put that on a loop for 5 straight minutes. I'll cut it out and I'll put it underneath the rest of the episode, just as.
Yeah, good. We have too much dead air in this show anyway. We'll have me just go fucking 5 minutes. Make it sound like I'm whacking off.
Oh, it might sound like that.
It might sound like that.
Disgusting.
And you knew it would. Okay, well, it turns out that this Oreo flavored Coca-Cola, zero sugar, is important.
Is obviously good
Oreo
because
Coca-Cola.
those are good flavors that go together.
Well, it's now a vodka Oreo Coca-Cola, no sugar, which is
delicious.
what a great title.
Yeah.
This sour Skittles is too perfumed for me. It does taste like someone just put sour Skittles in like water for X amount of time, and then they just kind of poured what was that into a thing. Now, I love sour Skittles. Sour Skittles are far superior to North American Skittles, but far weaker than UK standard European Skittles, because there's UK has the Europe has a lot of laws with fruit juice in shit, so there's actual fruit juice in the Skittles, and they're really good. Trust, I will get you a bag,
please,
because they're genuinely better to the point where they're my favorite sweet. Love Skittles, can't eat them in North America at all. Can't eat them in Canada, can't eat them in the US because they suck. And it's really disappointing.
They do. That's true.
Yeah, but they're they're truly my favorite in the UK. So it's European Skittles, sour Skittles, and then North American Skittles are just not on the list because these are things that I would eat casually, and North American Skittles are just not it.
Yeah.
And there's the very berry ones, and then there's the gummy ones. Big Skittles head over here. Anyway.
For real? You like Skittles this much?
They are my favorite. They're my favorite sweet. Well, you know what? Big nerds guy now. I actually had a nerds rope that I bought with all this.
So that's like your kind of candy. You like sweet hard candies kind of stuff.
Yeah, I really do.
Sweet and sour hard candies.
I really like my favorite things that have fruit juice in it, because my favorite snack to have is just fruit. We always have a bag of frozen fruit. I know,
you always have so much fucking fruit.
Yes, because I'm always eating fruit. It's my favorite.
Yeah. I remember, didn't Deb throw out bananas once, and it caused
and it pissed me off? Yeah, because I was going to make banana bread. That whore. It's okay. I recovered. I said, go buy more fucking bananas for my house, please. And they did, and then I let those go old, and then I made banana bread. And my banana bread is awesome.
Cool.
So that's why I was mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, because then it robbed me of the chance to bake and be a cute little boy. You know what? I actually don't like cream soda or cream-based drinks, so I don't know why I put so much Coke in that. Dillin's frozen.
I am?
Dillin might be back.
It's okay.
Like
it's reconnecting.
I don't like cream soda. So I don't know why I decided to pour myself a whole fucking glass of this Coke. I don't like cola either. This was a dreadful choice for me. I don't like Coca-Cola. I don't like cola as a flavor, and I don't like... Anyway, hi gang, how you doing? We entered today's sesh with me singing Find Your Flame by from Final Fantasy 16. I'm a big Final Fantasy head over here. Part of me really wants to get Dill to play a Final Fantasy game in this show, but I don't know how possible that would be, because we've talked about it and it's not like a choice game, so we'll just have to walk through it. So I'm a big Final Fantasy head. Anyway, Final Fantasy 16 OST came out today, and I'm creaming my drawers over it. Hi, Dillin.
Oh, God. Take your fucking perversions somewhere else.
That's the third, I'm creaming, coming, jacking off joke that I've made today. That is
disgusting. You should be put in prison. You should
rare for me. I don't normally do it. Oh, shut up. You're the horniest beggar I've ever seen.
I know. I know, but that's my vibe.
I'm stealing your identifier. I'm sorry.
I don't. Come on, please.
I don't know what my identifier is, so you have to.
You're a manic pixie dream boy, and you exist to further my plot line. You're.
And we're not allowed to exchange roles even for a second, for a minute.
No, you have to teach me how to find joy again.
Which is my main goal. Hi, I'm Robin. I've completed one Dragon Age game. Oh, I've made a joke so good that Dillin laughed. Oh, dear.
Dragon Age a million fucking times. Anna.
Shit,
you'll have me be playing it again. Christ, my internet. Oh, give me a break.
I've literally just this second made a tweet about Final Fantasy 16. So if you're listening to this, and if Dillin keeps this in the edit, you will know, you can see the moment that I tweeted this. How fun is that? A little inside the actor's studio. A little inside the actor's studio for you. Which is fun little just a fun little behind the scenes. There you go. So again, big Final Fantasy guy. 10 is my favorite. It might then be followed by 8, followed by 16. Insane. 7, 14. I love 14. 14, I think, is arguably the best Final Fantasy story. But the hours to moment ratio is just kind of, you can't really tell people to play it. I've put 2,000 hours into Final Fantasy 14, so I can't really in good faith be like, this is a great story, you should play this, because I'm just telling someone to give up thousands of hours of their time. That seems insane. Hi, Dillin.
Hello.
Hi.
Just internet stability.
Yeah, internet stability is bad. I made you laugh so hard that the internet died.
The internet stability lost it. That was such a good transition, unfortunately. I'm so
That's okay. We can
upset
just start from now.
Fine.
And whatever, doesn't even fucking matter.
I don't even care. We had such a good cold open, and we didn't get it on recording.
What do you mean?
Basically.
Oh, we did before we started recording, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that was funny. That was your fault, though. Yeah, that was the internet.
It was. I would never blame you. No, it's my fault entirely.
Once
Dragon
again,
Age 2.
There we go.
Baby.
Have you said the bit before it cut out? Okay.
I did. The bit
go.
being, and I'm Dylan, I've played Dragon Age a million fucking times.
Fucking times. So, we are playing a Dragon Age 2. We are on... This week, we did all of Act 2.
Act 2, baby.
I was a little mad at Dylan beforehand, because I was like, how am I going to be able to do a whole act in weeks? Dylan was like, Act 2 is so much shorter. I didn't believe them. They were correct. It's way shorter.
It's way shorter.
Act 2 is way shorter. I was getting a little frustrated toward the end, but I'll talk about that later, because, do you know... I'm going to be a bit of a fucking Debbie Downer today, I think.
I know. I'm prepared for it.
I'm going to be a bit of a downer, unfortunately. But it's okay, because this is the first time I'm going to be a real downer. And it's also not going to be... It's going to be the lightest that I'm a downer, because I think Inquisition is really going to kick the shit out of me.
Yeah, the podcast only gets worse from here, is what we're trying to say. No. It's going to get real bad.
Negativity does not mean A, poor content, B, it's not an interesting conversation, because I a lot of my things have to do with things that I didn't enjoy, because in contrast I really enjoyed this thing, and then we can talk about that. Inquisition is going to be exciting for me, and I'm the most excited to play it. And I know that we keep teasing that I fucking hate Inquisition, which is simply not true. However, anyway,
Jesus,
I love you. So... right.
We played Act 2. So yeah. Okay. So before we did the last legacy, the DLC that we did for last week.
Mm-hmm.
We would have gotten the introduction to Act 2, which for both of us, Bethany goes to the circle, right? For both of us.
Gets shipped.
Yep. Yeah. So now Bethany is like not around.
Here, we're literally not able to click on her.
Yeah. She's just out of commission. Which I think is really interesting, because it's like, if you didn't max out approval with Bethany in Act 1, like, you miss... There's so much missed opportunity to get Bethany to like you.
That's true, actually. I didn't. Ooh, scary. Don't like that, actually.
Yeah. So we get that clip back to Cassandra interrogating Varric. And she's asking about Bethany's fate. And it seems like she's reaching for something. She's like reaching for a connection, and Varric is like, no, that's not what you're looking for. That's not what this story's about. You're wrong. And so we do a time skip to year 4 of being in Kirkwall.
Yeah.
And this is after the Deep Roads expedition, so we've come back, and now Hawk's got money.
Hawk's rich.
Hawk is
buys the old family home.
Yep.
Yeah, and Gamlin is just left.
Yeah.
Because you're not coming with us. Go die.
Yeah,
actually,
you can live in the old hovel you set up
that you
yourself.
wanted for us so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got money now, and an estate, like a proper estate. But the Kunari who we met in Act 1 and the residents of Kirkwall, the tensions have grown to like almost
boiling.
Bubbling. Yeah, almost bubbling over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do the Qunari feel about Ash, and how does Ash feel about the Qunari at this point?
We've got a pretty civil relationship. Ash has tried very hard not to step on the Arashok's toes.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning of Act 2, we're kind of okay. Like, fun.
Nice. Yeah. These are the only people that Florence likes outside of her own
really
things, because they just keep to themselves. They shut up. They tell you exactly what they mean. They're like they're just like big burly people that are like, yeah, no, we know what we're about. And they give Hawk a bunch of respect consistently, and I think Florence is like, you know what, I just like that. I like it when people are just not dicks to me.
That's interesting.
And it's because so the more Florence interacts with someone, I go from red constantly to purple to white when we start like talking to them, or Blue Hawk, I should say. And the Arashdog and Qunari did that because we've spoken so much that now everything is like is like sometimes blue, but then other times is like if there needs to be tough, it's like I do switch to red immediately. Speaking of, we have some rivalries in this act for me. I
wasn't going to get into it right away, but I'm struggling.
Why?
I'm struggling. I don't know why I keep...
Is it because you're playing an anti-mage and...
I keep making... No, I'm playing a pro-mage.
I thought because you're with Fenris. I thought you were going...
Yeah, I'm not trying to actually be anti-mage, but I am trying to be as... as strategic about it as possible.
Fascinating. I have a couple hard locked into friends. I've had people dip in and out of rivalries. And I'm excited to talk about this when we really get like knee deep into it. These sessions of ours are a little weird because it's all side quests, and you don't really know that you're doing a main quest until... or like you've caught up with main quests until you get a notification, hey, if we do this, you can't go back. Finish your stuff. And say, thank you very much. I'm going to go finish my shit. And then you run around to do all your stuff. And then it turns out, oh, hey, that's like the fight. So it's like, this game feels like side quest the game a little bit because everything is pretty integral.
I agree.
Which is a boon.
I do. I agree. And I don't hate that, but I do more than I did in Act 1. Simply because I think this act is smaller in scale and easier. But what I am doing now is I'm going via the journal to decide what quest I want to do, and then looking at the map instead of that's just wandering.
You know what? I was also doing that. I think that's interesting. I was also going through the journal and checking on things, and this started because Act 1, you have the herbalist tasks, which are collect XYZ from these areas. You also get it in Act 2, but I spent fucking ages searching. Now,
never ever have I ever finished herbalist tasks, and that will continue.
That's fascinating.
always the unfinished one on my board.
Oh, wow. Herbalist Axe is kind of frustrating to me. It's one of the quests that truly is completely pointless, and I think it's pretty shitty. I think in a game like this, where you're feeling like everything is side quests, is a negative. In this run, kept going to places and like because I'm like, oh, there's a quest over here, and then I go to them and I start speaking to them, and I'm like, why am I here talking to you now? And that, I think, is honestly not great game design, because it's like, if I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm here, why are you giving me a choice? Because I like, a choice is in like, isn't this like a big important choice? Because like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who anyone here is. I have done 15 tasks since you gave me this mission. I can't remember the opening of it. And this I felt a lot of in this act, but I think what would help it is if they just got rid of the menial, pointless herbalist
They don't need
shit.
them in this game. They're not fulfilling.
Stupid.
They're not doing anything. This is not an open world game where I need to
do a bunch of minor stuff.
Just to level up. I don't need to hunt the rats in the, like that. I don't need to do those kinds of Skyrim Eve level 1 things.
And a part of this is a thing which I pseudo find interesting, but I also don't really, is whilst you're out and milling around, you can find items and then you get a quest, but the quest is deliver this item to someone. That, I think, sucks pretty much 100% of the time, because it fills up my quest log, and I am going to areas to like there's no dialogue. I just give an item to someone, and then I get some gold, and I get like a little bit of experience, and then there's like a hawk says, you should keep better track of your things. But sometimes you should keep better track of your things ranges from a ring that I find in a dungeon to a dead body that I find on the side of the road. And it's like, is there nothing interesting to say about the fact that I found a dead body, and my hawk was like, I should pick that up and give that to someone? And it's like, why should you do that? It's a fucking dead person.
It's fucking dead.
Leave it on the fucking side of the road.
Because that's our job as a hawk in this game.
It's just menial, stupid tasks.
Is to just do everything for everyone.
The first thing that I did is I picked up Sebastian. I know I said this at the beginning of the last episode. I picked up Sebastian as my first thing because I wanted to know what the DLC character was. He has this whole thing of there is weird things happening in the Harriman's house. House Harriman.
Harrowmont, which we know, right?
It's not like the dwarven Harrowmont, it's Harrowman.
Oh, Harrowman's house. Okay.
Harrowman's.
Oh, the Harrowmonts they do appear in this game. But
that's exciting.
Different. Yeah.
Now, I want to couch everything that I'm going to say because I know I'm going to be pretty negative throughout today. However,
Okay.
There is so I was getting pretty frustrated with this game because I was getting pretty bored. However, my last play session, I had nothing but wall-to-wall bangers till the whole end of this act is so good that I agree. It frustrated me a little bit of how good it was, because I was like, man, this really fucking rules. Everything is cool and interesting. So this first half, I think, is pretty dull because except for Sebastian, all of the companion quests unlock after you do two separate quests, and then those two unlock to be like, speak to this person in the house, in the house, like, and you get a meeting area,
and then you get like a scene. A lot of times now, go like in, sometimes in their house, but now sometimes in your house.
Yeah, they come to your house.
Which is fun. They come over, which I think is neat.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's awesome. Did you do the Harrowman Sebastian's quest? Did you do that?
No.
Why don't you like Sebastian? I don't get it. Because I don't know. Also, the first act, I was like, oh, Sebastian, I'm excited to know more about him. And then you did, every time I bring him up, you just don't talk about it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about him. I talked to him.
He's a full-ass quest. How do you forget? Do you just, like, ignore a quest on your map?
Yeah.
That's absolute barbaric. I can't.
Yeah.
That's disgusting to me.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he's a whole companion. And he has an interesting story, and he's cool.
I'm sure he's such a person. Yeah. And he...
But if you don't know, this is your franchise. Anyway. He's pretty cool. You go into the Harriman's house, which is it's a bunch of people that he like is family friends with. They are currently are running Starkhaven, which is what he is the prince to do. So he should be doing. He should be the prince of
Starkhaven. Yeah.
Which you find out because you go into the house, everyone is acting really fucking weird, like they can't see you. They're doing really, really odd stuff. You find out that the mother of the house is making deals with a demon, a desire demon. Mm-hmm. The desire demon does interesting stuff in this thing. I will say I came across a glitch which would trap me in an infinite loading screen.
Right, you were telling me about this, yeah.
I tried to finish this mission every time I booted up the game. And I had to redo the whole mission because once you enter, you can't leave. And I was trapped in that infinite loading screen for at least 3 or 4 times on each of my plays, which is about 4 times I sat down to play Dragon Age 2, and I tried it every time. And it got me so angry that this is a big part of why I got frustrated with this.
Yeah, of course, that set the tone, because this is the first thing you did in Act 2,
This is the first thing I did in Act 2, and it immediately bricked it. And it's not like this is a side quest, I don't really care. This is a companion character who I need to do his stuff for because he's a companion, and he's one that I find kind of interesting, but I'll never find him super interesting until I know what the fuck is happening with him. Anyway, I figured out the workaround because I googled it. You have to slam escape as soon as the loading screen hits, and it skips a bunch of dialogue, but it does work. Anyway, the mother of the house is made a deal with a desire demon. She killed Sebastian's parents. And it maybe killed his 2 brothers as well, but I can't really remember on that. But and then has made everyone in her family go like a little insane because it gives her like ultimate power in this thing.
Yeah.
The desire demon is like, hey, Sebastian, I also know that you want power as well. And then he does a very noble thing of saying, yes, but a power is nothing if I can't help people, and this isn't helping people. You fight her, kill them, and then he becomes... and then he tells you about his grandfather, because you also find his bow and how he used to train, and because he's the 3rd son of this noble house, so he was never going to be a crowned prince. He was always just going to be a guy, just a prince. But then all of his family died, so then he had to... he is now the prince. He's a fucking Templar, but he has he also loves the Chantry. He was forced to go to the Chantry as a young kid, but then ended up falling in love with it. And he's also an archer, which is a pretty sexy job. Being like a guy in huge armor and also an archer, that's good shit. That's aesthetically very good for me. And he's cool. He's like a nice, cool guy. I didn't romance him, even though I thought about it. I
was thinking you might, but
he's just very my type, which is very anime stereotype boy, and he's a fucking prince with a bow, and like he's just cool. For sure. I just thought he's really cool. Like aesthetically, he's a really cool, interesting character, and because he was a DLC character, I was worried that he wouldn't do a lot in the game outside of his thing, but I was wrong. He actually has a lot of input on a lot of things coming up, which I think was really good and cool. Yeah. Really, I still feel like he's not quite the party member that like Shale was. Shale coming in and really being relevant and talking, having a lot to say to a lot of the other characters. And Sebastian does a little bit. He mainly speaks to Varric, or Varric speaks to him, and they have a fun dynamic because Varric does not like him at all. Yeah. Varric keeps, like, openly mocking him, and it's like he's the only one Varric does that to. Like, Varric actually fucking hate that guy.
Absolutely everyone.
And I think it's interesting that they made the guy who loves everyone actively not like this guy, even though this guy, from what we've seen, is a good dude.
Yeah, but I think it's because he's the prince that he is.
But
why?
I think that's why it's interesting and why he's an interesting character.
Great.
He has a lot to say coming up. I actually kept him in my party more than I thought I was going to. I had him. I rotated my party again pretty much every single fight. I'd do like a cutscene, and then I'd have people talk, and then I'd switch out for someone else because this is the greatest party roster of any game.
Yeah.
And Sebastian was in a lot of my rotation. I think Sebastian's really cool, and I like him a lot, but I do appreciate that he doesn't slot in as well as anyone else. It's quite noticeable, and it's a bit of a shame. I feel like this is an unfortunate dev thing where this game, we saw, we were chatting on our Discord, this game was made in 14 months, and you can tell. It's particularly this game, it's pretty apparent, and I think Sebastian, if they had a little more time, wouldn't be a DLC character, would be a lead mainline character, but unfortunately, because he's DLC, they didn't put any time into a lot of his interactions with the world, and that's a bit of a shame. Anyway, so that was my first quest. I did that.
Yeah.
My second one was there's a bunch of fucking murders happening at the Dupois mansion. No, it's not murders happening there, but a Templar believes that they're happening at the Dupois mansion.
The Templar, yeah. Oh, that's first for you. For the Dupois, the Dupois estate is the Emmerich storyline. Yeah. Okay. This one is I didn't get this one first. I did the one that's like in Act 1 we first hear about the Gatlock powder, and because that dwarf was trying to like get his hands on a recipe. And now like a couple years later that whole Gatlock thing has really created some tension. The murder, there's like young women being murdered.
Well, let's finish. So that was your first quest, was the Gatlock one. I think let's do that one first, because then we can jump between a quest I did, a quest you did, a quest I did, a quest you did, because then we'll end up getting all the quests anyway. And I've just spoken for like 20 minutes, so
you're always allowed. So we find out that now, in addition to like the Gatlock, the Arashok's got poison gas. Javaris, the same kind of criminal person from Act 1, has stolen the formula this time. So
yes.
So now it's it's like everything has escalated, and so we go in to like track Javaris down through the smuggler's routes, but we find out that Javaris has been framed.
Yeah. Because he's like, it's just some random fucking elf.
Yeah.
Some elf I was working with. It's not me. But you do have the chance to kill him if you want.
You can.
If you don't believe him.
I did not.
I didn't, no.
No.
Because I didn't like the guy, but I'm like, you didn't fucking do it, so there's no point.
No. That is... Yeah. There. You literally know that he didn't do this, and
you technically don't know that he didn't do this. He could just be lying, and that it gives you reasonable doubt. He's like pleading with you, but it's also like, well, you did do this shit before. And logic, I understand, it's like logic dictates. No, he didn't, true. Obviously, but it does give you the opportunity to have your hawk be like, I fucking don't believe you. Actually, I do think you did this. Yeah, I didn't kill him.
We do find the fanatic like in Lowtown. And she does admit it, and then she blows herself up, I think, with it.
Oh, I don't know. This is a big part of this fucking game. Right. Okay. I can talk about it now, because this is the time when I started getting really haggard with how this game runs. Combat in this game fucking sucks. It is so boring. It infuriates me how dull mechanically this game is so fragile that I had to put it down and do anything more interesting.
I know.
This fight sucks. It's so fucking boring because there's poison gas all over the floor, and it's like it's gonna keep hurting you until you turn it off. It doesn't do that. I mean, admittedly, I was on easy because I got.
It does.
Oh, well, it. Okay, my health is so fucking juiced that sure, I believe you.
Oh, see, I think this fight is one of the more interesting ones because they
do something
and
about it. Yeah.
There's some other element other than waves of guys, which there also is, but there's also like a thing to turn on.
Sure.
Which is, I saw in Origins a lot. It's at least something.
You know what? I agree. I came in too hot because my emotions of this game is that it mechanically sucks. This fight is better than most fights. Yeah. There are just endless waves of random dudes. When you said, we've talked about this so many times, when you said...
And I told you before we played this game that it has the highest kill count
of any... I was like, yeah, sure. I'm sure, like, I'm sure you are correct. Oh my god. Kirkwall is a ghost town.
Kirkwall should have no living residents. This is
absolutely 0% of people.
There's no explanation as to why they didn't have room for the refugees. Everyone's dead
all the fucking time. I am cleaning through hundreds of people. It's absolutely bonkers. It's so right. There is oh god, I'm going to sound like such a cunt. Ludonarrative dissonance is a thing in games.
Get out, actually. Get out.
It's a thing in games which has kind of been made. It's a phrase about in video games, you're a guy going around doing a lot of murder. But then also you have to be someone who is charming and likable. So a big thing, and this is the Uncharted franchise, which in Uncharted 1, 2, 3, you are murdering hundreds and hundreds of people, but then also are a wisecracking, cool, smart guy who won't kill people in cutscenes and how every gunshot is scary, but you are fucking, like, mowing people down. This is exactly the same.
Yeah.
How am I... I can't talk about it because there is a spoiler about this game that I know. But it's like, how am I supposed to be angry at... Fuck it. How am I supposed to be angry at the Kunari murdering loads of nobles if I am killing, like, 100 per one noble in this fucking city? It's like, it's so crazy to me.
I mean, we can talk about it, and I won't deign to be the best person to talk about this element of it, but with the Kunari specifically too, I'm not necessarily saying that the Dragon Age writers are xenophobic, but I think that more likely just a subconscious place of ignorance puts these little things into play here.
I know. The Qunari thing is like not originally what I was pulling from. I was pulling from a thing that happens in Act 3. However, I understand that it's
but
like...
that too. Same kind of thing. I think that why are we supposed to be pissed that the Qunari have invented their own bombs and their own poison gas and their own things when we just killed 50 random dudes. We don't even exactly know why. It's like because someone else asked us to sometimes is the possibility. It really is.
It's like Grand Theft Auto numbers of how many people I'm just randomly slaughtering. It's stupid.
It's wild.
But then also, before anyone gets... Well, actually, first of all, I understand it's a video game. Get off my ass. I know that this was also made in 14 months. There are more creative things that you can do with your experience system, everything like that. They did it in Origins. It's ridiculous.
They did. But truly, this game, I think, if they wanted to get it done in the time they wanted to get done and still have the game experience, I think, like, a game that was, like, visual novel with cutscenes or, like, I think this game could have been fully like a playable story, a playable choose your own adventure. Like,
just give me like. No, you finish.
No, that's really it. I just feel like it could have been a different, if they really wanted to, they could have just made it a different kind of game and given us the same story and the same characters and all of that stuff without,
I do agree. I think that we need... I know that we're talking about story, and this is like the part of our show where we talk about the story and how it unfolds and all that jazz and like quests and stuff, but I'm sorry I forced us on this tangent.
There's no rules here. We can talk about whatever.
Give me the parts in this game where I think mechanically it's strong is when I'm against a unique enemy.
Yeah.
For example, the arcane horrors or the commander types who do so. They have like abilities that buff everyone, and I am a Templar, and because of that, I have an ability that silences all magical effects. So I run up to them, they do their big buff on everyone, I cast like silence magical effects, and then it cancels out their big like AoE things. And running up to mages and canceling their shit out is storytelling, very interesting because that's what Templars do.
That's what
but
that's
also makes it mechanically fun.
Yeah.
But the problem is like, gang, you know what is interesting. Give me 3 less waves of enemy, but add in monster types. Add in things that people can do, and it's like, shit, okay, I gotta have Varric deal with this because I need a distance guy to hit him. And it's like, okay, so I need Meryl to do a fucking lightning storm on this thing because of XYZ purposes. Like, yeah, that adds in like more tactics, and there will end up being like, oh, I should have brought this person along for this fight, so then, whatever. But it just makes it more interesting. I would rather have a fight, because the problem is if anyone says, oh, but that would make the fights longer, the fights in this game are way too long. They are so extensive.
They're so long for how pointless they are.
And it's just throwing cannon fodder at me that do no fucking damage. They do nothing. They just randomly hit me. I'm just waiting for my shit to recharge so I can destroy them. Mechanically, this game is so fucking boring.
No, I can't disagree with you. The fights are boring.
This fight had an interesting thing.
Yeah.
This fight did, where it's like you need to kill people, and then eventually one of them will drop a lever that you can use to turn off one of the gas things, and there's 4 gas things, and it's essentially endless waves of enemies until you're able to do that. Which gets a little dull after a while, but I mean, at least they're trying something, and that's good.
But it's fun. And then
I
once
also
you
don't
figure
blame
that
any
out,
of the developers. It happened in fucking 14 months. I don't blame the developers
no,
for
it's
this.
literally not their fault. It's just that it's impossible to create a mechanically interesting game and a game full of interesting characters and
absolutely
and stuff in 14 months. And so it actually is wild that the characters are as good as they are and are
truly.
And
they put all of
yeah.
their back into. They were like, okay, are we gonna make it really mechanically strong? Are we gonna make this really story-wise strong? And they're like, if we're making a franchise, it has to be storytelling strong. And they were correct. Yep. That's true. Because the characters in this game are some of my favorites ever. There are characters who I started this act not caring about, really, and I've left the act being like, man, they're the best guys, and I love them so deeply.
Aveline.
Yeah, dude.
Aveline.
Oh my god, I love her. Her story in this, because I was like, what are they going to do? Are they just going to tell me is it going to be like a cop, like detective mystery? No, she has a crush on someone, and that's her whole storyline, and it's the best shit ever.
No. We got to talk about Aveline more. It's not she has a crush on someone. It is that she has feelings for someone for the first time since the love of her life died in front of her. She is the most, she's like the strongest person in this game. Like, she walks her ass into Kirkwall after the biggest tragedy of her life, after losing her home, after everything. She walks into the Viscount's office and she's like, I will be guard captain in 6 months. And like and she does it, and she spends all of Act 1 like weeding out corruption from within the guard, and like and also being by your side, which we've established. You're a fucking crazy murderer. You're the worst, and she's sticking by you for whatever reason. But she is so canonically powerful. And then in Act 2, so it's 4 years since her love died, and this wimpy little boy Donick, for whatever reason, catches her eye, and she has to cope with the fact that she is potentially gonna move on. And the storyline that I like there is that you being a friend to Aveline, like if you successfully befriend her, like your mission there is to like encourage and inspire her to take that leap again.
Yeah. And it's great.
It's fucking great.
She's so, it's the like, she wasn't one-dimensional, I don't mean that, but it's like she was pretty like, she is the good cop. That's her character. She goes in and she she's strong, and she like barges in and helps everyone and then weeds out all the guys. And then in this one you're like, oh, but she's she's like so socially awkward and like a dummy. And it's great because this whole quest is like, it's almost busy work. You walk from one room to another, handing out love notes that one of them doesn't know are love notes. And then eventually she's like, okay, get me a bar. I want to go to a bar. Go tell them that I'm going to meet them at a bar, but don't tell them that I'm going to meet them at the bar because he won't do it otherwise. And then you sit down at the bar, and then it's a scene of you talking to this one guy, and he's like, so are others coming? And you're like, no. I don't think so.
She chickens out.
And then you see her walking around in the background of the scene, trying to do other shit.
It's so cute.
It's you as Hawk and this guy being like, do you want another drink? And he's like, God, yes. And then it ends with him. It's just a fucking rom-com. It ends with him being like, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested in you. And you're like, okay, sorry. And
I love it.
So funny. And then she's like, okay, we're gonna do a patrol, but you're gonna make sure everything is safe, and then I'm gonna date him, and that's what's gonna happen. And you're like,
this is the funniest companion quest to me ever. Because
it's so good.
They're on a date. They're walking the patrol, which is in my least favorite part of the fucking map. It's that the fucking cliff sides. I forget what they're called.
Sundermount.
Sundermount. Thank you. So you're walking along these stupid cliffs that I have nightmares about. As I simply hate navigating that map.
Oh wait, Sundermount is am I right? Sundermount is the Dalish elf zone I might be thinking of. It doesn't matter.
So
who cares?
Here's the thing.
Mountains.
Everything that is in the mountain part looks the same, and it doesn't matter, and it's the worst
and
map.
It's bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So that area, everyone, you know what I'm talking about. So they're patrolling, and as they're patrolling, you're just doing you do best, which is murder in cold blood, and you just run around the map,
you're just
killing
walking
everybody.
into bandit camps, and they're like, "Hi, are you okay?" And it's like, "I gotta kill all of you.
I gotta kill all of you. My friend needs to,
my friend
needs
is on a
date
first
to
date,
go
and
well.
I need to bathe in your innards, please. I'm gonna fucking hack you apart."
Everybody. You kill everybody, and then they get a cute little cutscene at each like
camp that you like.
When they're just like, all right, let's check this place out, and they're like, oh,
also
clear.
One of the checkpoints is you murdering like 20 dogs, which I think is You brutally kill 100 to 200 feral hogs, and then you light the thing, and then Aveline is like, "Oh, thank God, that's good." But it also is like they have a stupid little cutscene where she is super awkward and weird, and then it cuts to your hawk being like, "Oh my fucking God!"
Yeah, just looking on, covered in blood, gazing up at what you've just worked so hard to create, which is just
so fucking funny.
2 minutes of game time for these two.
I'm fine with the huge stupid murder because in this particular scene, because your huge stupid murder is a punchline to a joke.
Yes,
it
gives a nod to
covered
it.
in other people's blood. You have killed literally 15 people, and it's Aveline just fumbling the bag super hard every time. And then your hawk is like, "You've got to be kidding me, dude. What am I here for? You fucking suck at this." But then afterward, he is like, you both run into each other, and Aveline's like, "Oh, Hawk, I didn't know you'd be here." And Hawk's like, "Hi, Aveline, what's up, dude?" And then you're like, "She fucking likes you. Please stop this. I've murdered 50 people since we've been here." And he's like, "What?" And then he runs away, and then Aveline's really mad at you. But then you go back, he confesses that he likes her as well, and then they bang in the side room, and then you're
in the Viscount's office.
Yeah, babe. And then you walk off all funny, and it truly, that quest, it went from me genuinely not having Aveline on my team to whenever I need someone, it's probably her, because I think she's so funny, and it's like, God, what a fun, humanizing quest. I think it's great.
I knew it as soon as you said it. I knew that's what you would have meant. Yeah, she's great.
And you know what? Actually, I've gone a little sour on someone. Not that I don't like them, but I've pushed them into rivalry. They're like my main one.
Meryl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Meryl's gone into my main rivalry.
Because what happens with Meryl in this act? How are you doing with all of that?
So, Fainreal is going a little mad. He's having a lot of nightmares, and I put him in the circle before, but his mother comes and is like, "He's having a lot of nightmares and it's dreadful. Please, can you go help him?" I'm like, "Oh God, fine." So then you get someone who I originally thought was Valana from Awakening, but it's not. I was wrong. She just looks a little like her. It looks like her, but older, and I was really excited, and I was sadly mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go into the Fade with a group of people. The keeper who puts you into the Fade is like, "Hey, he's going to need to die." And I was like, "Well, that's crazy. I don't know who you are, but I know this kid, so I'm going to protect this kid over you, actually. Fuck you. I hope you do die. Because this kid, I've already done a quest for him, so he's my people now. How dare you insult my people?" I take Anders, Meryl, and Varric in. Anders instantly turns into Justice in the Fade.
Yep. I also
really fucking cool.
Who did you take? I took Varric.
I took Varric, Anders, and Meryl.
Fuck, we took the same team. We took the same team into this.
Love that.
Yeah.
Crazy chances of that are super low. That's actually really exciting. Varric is my best friend of all time, and
this is the one time that I was fucking smart and didn't bring my mage-hating boyfriend to the mage quest, which is what I keep doing that on accident because I'm not paying attention enough. That's why I'm struggling. Yeah,
that's really interesting. Yeah. I am actually taking a lot of thought on who I'm bringing on quests with me. I have my Anders is with me a lot. Varric is with me a lot. But then I do have are we doing a quest that I don't think Anders would approve of? Then I have Isabel, Varric, and Fenris with me.
Yep.
And then outside of that, I have Meryl, who sometimes joins Fenris because they have kind of she's very naive, but then he is kind of okay. He's like, well, she's very naive, and it's like, whatever, she'll grow. And then Aveline and Anders sometimes. Yep. Anyway, I have a lot of people. Anyway, a lot of team units. is what I mean. And then Sebastian is also my main, like, and a mage isn't going to like this. That team is Varric, Fenris, and Sebastian. That's my crew. And then Isabel is someone who I have a lot, actually. We become best friends.
Fuck.
Me and Isabel are like super, to the point where Anders has the most approval from me. Spoiler, we fuck hard.
Yeah.
Me and him love each other. I did find out that if you romance someone and you lock in the romance, they gain 100% of approval and it doesn't go down. You are just 100% approval, which I didn't know. So, do you know what that did mechanically? It meant that I didn't put Anders in my party a lot because who cares?
You don't have to work on him.
I don't have to work on it. So the story's kind of done and I just kind of put him aside. I do love him, though. He has so much to say about so many topics that I do bring him along a lot. And he has some great shit when you romance him. He's anyway. So, going to the Fade. There are 2 demons that are locked in with him, a sloth demon and a desire demon.
Yeah.
You have to convince him that what he's seeing is a nightmare and not real. And then you speak to him at the end, and depending on what you did before, he either goes postal or is fine. The first person I went to is a fucking sloth demon. If you speak to the sloth demon, Meryl, he gives you an offer, and you can deny it, and then Meryl turns on you. I thought I permanently killed her. Yeah. I thought that was it. I, fought her, and I have, oh my god, Meryl turned on me, and she's dead. I have murdered Meryl. Because they also make a huge point of if you die in the Fade, it severs your spirit and you're dead. And I was like, I've killed her. She's dead. I'm going to go back and she's going to be catatonic. And it's like, oh my God, this was my sweet little idiot that I liked so much.
I know.
Anders is so pissed at her for it. And then you're running with 2. And then anyway, I convinced Fainreal both times that he was seeing a demon. So then he ran away, and then the third one I managed to convince him so he didn't do anything bad, and we went back. Turns out Meryl isn't dead. She's very apologetic. And I yell at her so much. I'm so angry. Because what's worse than someone outside of your circle turning on your people? One of your people turning on your people.
I know.
So Florence went fucking ballistic. I pick red for Meryl every single time. Fully chastising her. What the fuck is your problem? How the fuck do you do this? We were a team and then you randomly picked a demon over us. And she's like, I know, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I hit rivalry with Meryl where Florence and Meryl just do not get on at all. But Meryl likes everyone else, and it's yes, I know that Florence is the leader, which at this point, Florence is the leader. Hawk is the leader in Act 2.
Hawk is now the leader. Yeah.
Yeah. In Act 2, she, fully becomes the leader, and it's I don't really get on with the leader, but also I appreciate what they're doing, and blah, blah, blah. We do change this, because they're, I go into hard rivalry with her, and then I do pull it back over the course of Act 2 to the point where now we're neutral. Because just because of things that I actually didn't think that Meryl would appreciate and like that I was doing, and then Meryl did like them, and I was like, okay, I guess so. Yeah. But I really wanted hard rivalry with her. How did it go with you?
She, when we got back, I did one red response to her, but I did not carry the conversation that way. Yeah. I also was just this is huge. This is not only, so from Ash, this is not only a huge betrayal, but this is now impossible to navigate. You are constantly talking about how you want to restore old magics and you want to play with things that you don't understand. You want to unearth histories you don't know anything about, which I was so totally on board with, except the second we walk into the magic place,
you betray all of us for seemingly nothing.
probably for knowledge, for magic, for the chance to encounter magic knowledge. That is the assumption is, oh my God, I can't trust you. And so I think that now this is like, for Ash, this is now like, okay, Meryl Act 1 is, oh my God, sweet bean. Meryl Act 2 is like dangerous, like baby with a gun. Is like she's
I think she's way more interesting in Act 2. It's really pretty it's pretty black and white to me. I really liked her in Act 1, but in Act 2 when she's like, it's like, oh, I don't think you're naive. I think you play dumb to kind of get your leg up on some situations. It's like, I think she's like way smarter, because then her personal quest is her fucking around with an ancient artifact that she's rebuilding herself, and it's like, you know what the fuck you're doing, actually. Yeah.
She's rebuilding an Illuvian, which we have encountered before now.
We've encountered it in... and, do you know what's also interesting about this Illuvian? In the Witch Hunt DLC, you fight a mythical creature before you find the Illuvian. You fight the same mythical creature before... like, whilst you're helping Meryl with this Illuvian quest.
Her repair.
I don't know if this ends up being a thing, but 2 times having this one mythical beast next to an Illuvian, it's becoming more than coincidence to me. I'm thinking that they're connected in some way, and I don't think they are, but I think it would be interesting if those kind of things were. What did you do when it came to Meryl and the Illuvian quest?
So I did wind up encouraging her to. In the Ash storyline, I think everything, like, we can leave, we can leave Aveline at home for a few days. She'll handle herself.
She's literally the only one of the party that has a full-time job. Like, she's fine.
Yeah. But, like, Meryl, Fenris, Anders, these are my mentally ill children, and I cannot
believe you took Fenris on this. I can't believe you took Anders. Those two, that's crazy. This must be one of the times that they agree on something.
Yeah, they do. They do fully agree.
I had another drink of the sour Skittles drink.
You cannot. That is the worst thing in the world. But those are my mentally ill children, and they cannot be left alone too long, because I must know what they're up to. And so, yes, I have to encourage Meryl to do this project, because when it blows up, I need to know about it.
Yep.
If I don't get involved, I now believe that she's going to still do it in secret, away from me, and I'm going to get fucked.
Do you know what's so interesting? I had the exact same thought. I denied her I denied her once. Like, no, you can't do this.
Oh my God.
This is stupid. But then she pushes the point again. She's like, please let me do this, because there's my history involved. And I think her pushing it, because then her pushing it gives you an additional option of, fine, or no, shut up. And the second time, I was like, she's going to do this whether I'm here or not.
Yeah, exactly.
She's going to take this shit into her own hands, and I can't fucking trust her. So I was like, sure, take the fucking thing, because then I know you have it, and you think that I'm fine with it, which I'm not. I'm going to shut your shit down as soon as anything happens, but you're doing this in the middle of an alienage, which no one else knows that you have the fucking ability to summon demons, and it's like, I gotta be there. And I've got to knock at the door, and you've got to be able to let me in. And so I was, thinking about it.
Yep, that's my stance on that. Fenris and I are doing well, drinking a lot of wine, despite the fact that I'm struggling a little bit in approval. But we are having a good time. Anders and I are doing well, decently.
Oh, that's good. I didn't do Fenris's quest. I've just clocked this right now. I didn't have it. I cleaned every single thing on my quest board. I didn't have anything left. I spoke to him originally at his mansion. I didn't go back to his mansion when his quest fully unlocked because I didn't get the pop-up saying, oh, hey, you should speak to him. I don't think I did it. I'm reading it on the wiki. I've just Googled it right now.
I don't know. Can you do it? Can you do it in Act 3?
No, it's specifically
it's
Act 2.
It's an Act 2 quest.
Because there's a year and a half time skip.
There's a time jump. But
I've fully missed on Fenris's quest in Act 2.
Oh, I know something that's going to happen to you now.
Wow. Oh dear. I didn't do his fucking Act 2 quest. And that's genuinely upsetting to me because I actually had him with me a lot and I find him to be one of the better characters in the game.
He's a great character. He truly is.
However, now here's the thing. I don't like playing a character in quotation marks on my first run of a game because it's harder to. It's like the first run of the game, I want to do everything. It's like I think if I wasn't playing a character, I would have let Meryl do the thing because, not doing it is like, I'm missing out on this whole story arc if I don't let her do this right now. So if I was playing Florence true, I don't think she would have gone to go see Fenris because at the minute he's like anti-mage and she's like, I don't want to be part of that. I'm with my main mage guy.
No, yeah, that makes total sense.
But for me, someone who's not played the game before, that kind of sucks. I actually didn't know. I fully didn't get the quest marker for it. Well, so I must not have done it.
Let me
regale me.
Ruin your life. So you walk into Fenris's house, which is, by the way, Daenerys' estate. His former enslaver and the person who put lyrium into his skin. Oh, hang on.
Oh god, the last act is so long. Not Act 3, I mean like the last act, like the last quest
in this
game is so long that I could reload, but I don't know when was the last time I saved.
No.
Damn it. Okay. Set in stone now, baby.
So, you walk into his place, and you kind of catch him, like, I think it's great. You catch him having, like, this, you, like, walk in the middle of him having conversations with your other companions. Like, which
he was talking to Isabel when I walked in one time and he was talking to Isabel. Actually,
that is
Isabel
what gives you the quest. Is that?
Oh, I must have done it then. Oh, fascinating! I must have done it.
So you walk in. Isabel, or technically, I think it can be. No, it's not Anders. It's got to be Varric, I think.
Tell you what it might have been.
What did you do? What?
It would have been one of the times that I had to reload the save because Sebastian's quest wouldn't. I would have done his, walked next door, done Sebastian's quest.
Oh my god!
But it locked me out, so I would have had to reload my most previous save outside. And I
never went back inside.
And I didn't go back and
That's exactly what happened then.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because it does. I was like,
god,
you said it, Isabel, and I was like, yeah, but you can't not remember this quest. Like, there's no chance that you don't remember this. So you overhear Isabella and him talking crime business together, and then she leaves, and you get to like sit down with him and have a bottle of wine. But he tells you, he's like, it's 3 years now. I have no idea, like, since we last heard from Daenerys, since we met Fenris. Mm-hmm. It's been 3 years now, and I still don't know where he is. And I'm not comfortable, he's not comfortable with this not being behind him. You can so he's like, I'm living in Daenerys' house. He hasn't come back here. I'm like, you disappointed that he hasn't come back? You get this nice house. He's like, no, you don't understand. Like, I need to have closure in this. But then he opens up about the lyrium in his flesh and that he doesn't remember anything before that. So when he was bought by Daenerys and abused by this person, that's his first memory, essentially. And then we flirt a little bit, a lot of bit. And then we get to kind of advance it if we encourage him or if we flirt with him a little bit after that. And so now it is like time for us to track down Daenerys, which is huge. And so like all of this kind of pause for a second.
Okay.
Because I see my screen doing a twirly thing.
Oh, your screen's fine for me.
I know. You seem fine, but I'm seeing the twirly thing.
Raise thy lantern by your knees and body broken.
Oh, that's what it is.
You got it?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So right. So Fenris confides in you this what Daenerys has done specifically to him, and that he's not been back, and he must get closure here. So you have to be at 50% friendship with him, in order to get this, or 50% rivalry. I think you have to be either way. And I really gained it all in that very last conversation. And we hear, so you go back to Fenris's estate, and then he tells you like the full trauma of it all. So then like you get like the deep dive of everything. And in this, you get like a ton of opportunities to respond to every part of the story, and every response like has a pretty strong like
implication,
approval reaction.
Damn it.
And so if you do this right, which I thankfully did, then you get to unlock the last quest, which then there's no way for you to know how to open it. It's like, okay, you've done this and there's no marker on your map, there's no nothing or whatever. But the next time that you leave Kirkwall, so when you go to like any of the outside areas of Kirkwall with Fenris in your party, you get attacked by slavers who are trying to re-kidnap him and bring him back to Daenerys. And you have the fucking option to give him to them. Game gives you that.
Oh my god.
Or fight and kill them, obviously.
Obviously, that's what you do, yeah.
And then he's like, we have to go after Daenerys' apprentice, which is Hadriana, who is like learning to be a mage from Daenerys. And she's a pathetic little shit. She sucks so much.
You eat and kill her.
She sucks. But Fenris is like, she doesn't suck, she's good. We have to get information from her. And then we track her down because Fenris is like, she's like a sister to me or whatever. And you're like, yeah, she's awful. And she totally sold you out. Anyway, Yada, yada, yada. We fight our way through 1,000,000 slavers. We find Hadriana. She's like, I'm the worst person alive. And then Fenris goes off to brood. He leaves your party. He becomes grayed out the same way that Bethany is.
Oh, love that.
He's gone for a bit. He's checked out. And then you go into his estate and you trigger a cutscene where you find him brooding.
Of course. He's the king of brooding.
Being the broodiest guy. And he's just so sad. And you just got to choose to be with him.
Aww.
And it's beautiful. I love it. I love him. I will marry him in real life, I think.
In real life?
In real life,
He is great. That...
Yeah.
Sucks pretty hard.
Yeah, actually. I'm really sorry. I'm really, truly sorry. It's a good companion quest. It's a really good one.
Yeah. That is so upsetting. Man, fuck Sebastian, actually. Doing that to me. Fucking loser.
I'm so sorry for the glitch and its consequences.
Ooh, man, I don't want to get more of a bummer about this game's optimization, but holy shit. The fact that the game broke and it stopped me from playing a companion quest because it made me reload the game to make it work at all.
I know.
Doesn't make me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make me feel good, actually.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
That
sounds awesome. I'm gutted that I missed that.
I know.
What were you going to say then?
I was going to say, I feel like we should get into the meat. The Act 2 quest, but who am I missing?
As in, we haven't done a lot of companion. We did Meryl's. Well, we kind of lightly talked about Meryl's. We haven't done Anders's.
Oh yeah,
Anders's quest yet. We also haven't done Isabella's. But Isabella's is interesting because Isabella's is the main quest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I think is fun. And we haven't done Varick's either, which I would also consider to be main quest. And I don't believe I'm missing anyone there. I'm thinking of the roster in my mind. I don't think I'm missing anyone.
Yeah.
We did Aveline. We did Meryl. We did Sebastian, technically.
Yep. Fenris.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anders' I can't remember either, but I 100% did it because...
I did too, and it's something.
We kissed a lot.
We did not
Oh my
kiss.
God. Oh, man. He loves me. Oh, of course I did. So, Anders admits that he is part of an underground kind of rebellion unit of people.
Yep.
And there is someone who is hunting mages and forcing them to be tranquil. He has a whole thing called the Tranquil Solution that is making mages tranquil so they can use their powers still, but they are essentially brain dead. You go to hunt and kill this man.
It's yet another slavery plotline, essentially.
Of course. That's what most of this...
It's Kirkwall. We're doing a slavery plotline.
You go, you find him. It turns out, so this guy is a high-ranking Templar, and he pitched this Tranquil Solution to Knight Commander Meredith and also the head of the Chantry, both of whom were like, "You're fucking insane. Don't ever bring this up again." But he does it anyway. Anders loses his cool like mad. It turns full into justice. You kill the guy and all of his Templar guards and all of the additional guards that spawn out of nowhere. And then the mage the Templar was going to turn, Anders goes a little feral on her and goes to kill her. And you're like, "Hey, dude, what is happening right now?
Calm the fuck down."
And then he does. And he's like, "Holy shit, I can't believe I almost did that." And then he runs away and leaves, and you go speak to him again, and he's like, "Yeah, I lost my cool there. I'm super sorry." And then I was more flirty with him, and he was like, "Oh, you don't want to do this, because I'm bad news," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Shut up, loser, kiss me." And he was like, "Okay." And then we kissed. And then later he came back to my house, and we banged. That was fun. Varick's has who I played, of the people I played, I do think is the best one, because it is so it's also very charming because it also has a very strong comedy streak in it before it gets incredibly dark. You find Bartrand again.
Yep.
You go with Varric to confront him because he has a full mansion in Hightown.
Huge
mansion in Hightown. You're originally like, well, he might have just turned up, and then Varric's like, nope, he has been there for a few months now, so I think he's there permanently. You turn up, there are like cobwebs on the door. It's so dusty and hasn't been opened in ages.
Sure. It's haunted as fuck in there.
Yeah, well,
so
they comment on the fact that there's a lot of cobwebs and it looks like the door hasn't been used in ages, but yes, it's spooky haunted.
He's been living there for months and there's no sign. Like, it doesn't look like a place that people are living in.
Yeah. You go in and then you walk in as a team. Steps out the other end is just Varric. Everyone runs up and is like, stop there! And Varric's like, huh. I think Bianca is thirsty for blood or some shit, and then you do a fight where you solo as Varric, one-shotting every enemy, and it's awesome. It's so sick. He's full-ass John Wicking, like 70 people in this mansion, and then it hard cuts, and Cassandra's like, shut the fuck up.
Shut up. That's not what fucking happened.
This didn't fucking happen. He's like, oh, God, all right.
Fine.
Goes back. You walk back in the building with everyone, and you as a team go through everyone and kill them all. You find some servants who are like, yeah, he has been... Ever since he touched that idol, he has been feeding people. He has got people and fed them lyrium, like force-fed them lyrium. They are all going a little crazy now. And and then Bartrand will sell the idol and then go really crazy that it's not near him and that he can't hear the song anymore. So then he goes back and he retakes the idol. And then that same song continues where he goes a little madder, gives it away, and then goes a bit feral again.
Mm-hmm.
You re-meet Bartrand. He jumps you. You fight him, and then you have the choice. A choice that is increased in choices if you have Anders on the team.
Which I did not.
I
don't think I ever have.
Anders on the team? Shame.
For
He's
this
my
one?
boyfriend.
No, I don't think so.
So you get to you can have Bartrand just leave and you can set him free now that he has essentially no house and no power and no money. Or
and no
you
idol.
can and no idol. Or you can fully just kill him right here. If you have Anders on the team, Anders can cure him and then you can set him free. I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I murdered him. Apparently you get rivalry with Varric if you free him, but you get friendship with him if you let him kill him. However, if you are Anders, you get more friendship if Anders cures him and then you set him free.
Yeah. Damn, I killed him, but I would have loved to cure him and set him free.
Yeah. No, I killed him as well.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy? This game has so much shit going on. And this is my fucking problem with the game. It has so much shit going on, and I have to kill 150 people before it gives me anything interesting. I don't
need to kill 150 people. I can just walk around the city and...
Give me one fucking enemy, and I'll fight them, and then and then let me do the really, really interesting story stuff, which is what this game is constantly giving me. Another thing that I love about the game is that you have a party of 3. 100% of the time, almost, someone will disagree with your decision. Regardless of what it is, you're going to get rivalry with someone and you're going to get friendship with someone else. And I think it fucking rules. It rules. It's so good. It's a great little quest. And then we have Isabella. My Florence Hawkes literal best friend, because Varric, we're friends and we like each other loads, and he's a storyteller. I keep walking into the bar and talking to him, and there's like scenes when he's just like shouting me out and doing this whole story, and he talks to me about how it's like, well, I can't be the hero of my story because then people are going to think I'm selfish, but if I talk about you, people are going to love it because you do all the same stuff that I do, but you're not me, so it makes it easier. I'm like, we're friends. Me and Isabel are true besties. I once walked in.
Can't believe
I
that.
walked in on the cutscene after I romanced Anders, because also if you romance a cat, it might just be it's definitely not just Anders, but if you romance someone, you can go to every single member of the party and they have a small cutscene talking about it.
Yes.
Varric fully is like, I don't think this is a good idea, dude. I don't think you should date this guy. I think he's too much, and I think you should break up. Isabel mocks me for it and is like, and it's like, oh my god, so you have Justice and you have Anders. Is it like a three-way?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I love this chick. It's so funny because in her
she's
cutscene,
so good.
She's so good. In her cutscene, if you romance Anders, there's a guy who is speaking to her, and he says the words, "Feast upon my tender flesh," or something, in terms of like a horny thing, and she's like, "You have to leave me alone right now." It's like this guy who keeps waxing poetic to her as she's ignoring him drinking. You walk up and he's like, "But please, you can feast on my tender flesh." And she's like, "Leave."
Get out.
He walks away.
Walk
and then
away.
She's like, "So you're dating Anders? That's pretty cool." And I'm like, she's just so funny, man. She's
really good. She's really, really good.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that Varric was also like,
it's a bad idea with Fenris.
not that it was a bad idea. I didn't get that impression. It is more like, you got to be careful with, like with that one. He's fragile.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Isabel has found a clue as to the relic that she's looking for.
Yes.
And you do like a little recon, and then it kind of stops her quest until the end of this whole situation as it's coming to a close. You go to the Viscount, and he's like, my son is missing. My son who loves the Quinari and wants to join the Qun. He's gone missing again. Can you go fucking find him? And it has my favorite line in this act, and so far this whole game, of he's like, you go to then speak to someone else, because you're like, hey, do you know where his son has gone? And he's like, no, and I also don't know where to find information of someone who would. And then all of my companions, who was Isabel, Varric, and Anders, was like, they all turned to each other and were like, Hangman. Yeah, I think the Hangman would do. And then everyone just says, well, let's go to the Hangman because they're going to know. And I thought it was so funny that everyone knew. They're like, yeah, I've looked everywhere. No one knows how to find information. And all your companions are like, do you want to go to the pub? Yeah, let's go to the pub.
Yeah.
They'll know.
Yeah.
It's very fucking good.
Yeah.
It's very funny and good. You go to the Hangman. You find out that the son hasn't been kidnapped, but he has, like, openly run away because he wants to join the Qun.
He's converting to the Qun.
Yeah, fully converting. You go and you speak to the Arishdoc, and you're like, come on, dude, you can't do that. And the Arishdoc is like, and then you also find out that the Arishdoc is also harboring two fugitives as well, two fugitive elves. And you go there with Aveline. Aveline brings you along because she's like, please let me sort this as well. Like, I'm the captain of the guard. It's literally my job. Like, please. And you're like, okay, yeah, sure. And she's like one of my better friends in this group. So I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You go. I think he leads you on a bit of a wild goose chase. And then you like, oh, no. My apologies. You go to your manor. Aveline turns up at your manor. Isabel also turns up at your manor. Isabel is like, I found the relic, I know where it is. And Aveline is like, there are two fucking fugitives who have gone missing. Please help me go to the Arishdoc and talk to them. And you have a choice of like, of who to go to first, because you're like, because Aveline's like, my shit's important because it's about the Quinari. And then Isabel's like, my shit is also about the Quinari. And you're like, are you telling the truth? And she's like, I would prefer not to say right now. Kind of, a little bit. I chose to go with Isabel because Isabel's my best friend in this. So I'm like, she's one of ours. Your thing is important, but your thing's for Kirkwall, and Kirkwall isn't my city yet. So I'm going to deal with my girl I'll join you in a minute. And then Aveline is like, this fucking better be important then. You going to this better be a big deal. Because Isabella's like, if I don't get this, I'm going to be murdered. Please help me. And I'm like, that's more important than the city. Sure.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, I picked helping Isabella mostly because her situation seemed more dire. Yeah. I know everybody keeps telling me that the Qunari are going to kill us all any day now. But
they're just my fucking boys.
I don't know. Like, it hasn't been shown to me. And
absolutely,
I've killed more people than the Qunari have.
100%. Every single time I go to speak to the Arishtok, he's like, he's like fucking screaming at someone, and then I turn up and he's like, oh, what's up, Hawk? I'm like, what's up, dude? How you doing? You good? Hey guys, rough day today. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hell yeah, buddy. All right, sick. I got to deal with this. And he's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, thank you, bye. I love that guy. But I went with Isabel. You go with Isabel. You find her relic. It turns out that it is it an old book of the Qun? It's like a book of ancient text from the Qunari. And you're like, Isabel, how the fuck did you find this? And she's like, I stole it from the Qunari. And you're like, oh, cool, dude. I thought you got shipwrecked. And she's like, well, I did. But there was also a book of... But I also got partly shipwrecked because I was getting chased by the Qunari.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
I know. She's such a dick. I love it.
Yeah, she's the best. The guy who stole it, who got it, runs away. Isabella's like, I gotta go. And she bounces and she leaves to follow him, and then you're stuck fighting a bunch of Talvashoth. No, not even Talvashoth, just Qunari, right?
Regular, yeah.
Now, here's where I freak the fuck out. Because the first elite mini-boss of the Qunari is called Sten. Because commanders are just called Sten. But I didn't have a chance to fight. I turned up, they saw Isabel, and then they just pulled weapons, but he was stood there, this big guy with a helmet on and a big, two-handed sword. And then he turned and was like, oh, Isabel, we're here for you, and then turned and started attacking us. And I clicked on his name. I was like, oh my god, am I killing Sten? Is he like a guy? If I didn't bring Isabel along, could I speak to this dude and be like, oh my god, it's Sten. Holy shit, from Origins. That's crazy. He did end up joining the fucking Qunari again. Good for him. No, it's not. I was so scared that Florence Hawk had just turned up and just killed one of Quentin's friends. Just openly, because he's just, like, who gives a fuck? It's like, I don't know who this guy is. He attacked me. I'm just going to brutally kill him.
She wouldn't have. That didn't happen.
Yeah. No, that didn't happen. It's just, there's a bunch of people called Sten in this, which I'm relieved about. But I also, for a second, I thought it was so juicy that Florence Hawk killed Sten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be pretty juicy. Yeah.
But Isabel leaves the party. You kill these Qunari. You then leave, and then she leaves a note on the dead body of the person who you find in the middle of the street saying, thank you for your help. I've got my thing. I'm going now.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's gone.
Leaves. And she leaves.
And now she's grayed out.
And now she's grayed out. You can't click her now because she's fully bounced and left the party. She's 100% run away. I'm upset, but I understand. She's my friend and she didn't want to hurt me, so she left. I get it. Fuck. Let's go see what Aveline is up to. Go to Aveline. She is then like, hey, don't. If you have stuff to do, don't come in here. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I don't have anything to do because I did Fenris's quest. I'm mad about it.
Well, hang on. We're forgetting something very crucial. But I am going to get another drink first, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Body broken. Final Fantasy 16, dude. Clapped too early. You're still eating. So,
very important before we go into the very last little bit is that at one point you go home. Pop in.
Oh my god. How the fuck did I miss this on my recap?
I know. Gamlin is like...
This is Dupois. This is the Dupois storyline. Because you go to the Dupois household, You find because a bunch of young girls are going missing, and you find a mage who is intimidating a young girl.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not me, though. I'm not the fucking serial killer, but I do know where you can find them. And you have the choice. And he's also using blood magic. And you have the choice to be like,
right.
I'm going to kill you now, or I'm going to let you go. And I was like, I'm going to let you go because I believe that you're not doing the evil shit that you're saying. And he's like, I'm not promised. The Templar who put you on this quest gets murdered. And then it leads you to another thing, which then ends up leading you back home. You don't really have any leads.
You just show up back home, and Gamlin is like, where is your mother?
We were supposed to hang out today.
Yeah, we were going to meet. And Bodan, who lives in your house. I don't even know. Have we addressed that Bodan?
No, Bodan and Sandal both live in your house.
And Sandal live in your house now. And so they say that Leandra has a suitor, that your mom's dating again. She's gotten white flowers. Mm-hmm. But Hawk is like, white flowers? I don't like that.
That reminds me of a noir-based mystery that I'm trying to solve.
That I was just a part
amongst my other quests.
And so you find Quentin, a blood mage, by the way.
Oh.
Close. Little on the nose.
Yeah, this game is really trying to hammer in parallels that just don't work.
Yeah. Quentin, a blood mage who's now gone mad and is piecing together the bodies of different women, and including your mom's corpse. And he reanimates her to be his bride.
Yeah. His like dead wife. His like old love. And your mother has the spitting image face, but that's what he's been doing this whole time. And it is fucking gutting. I had a really hard time not having Florence be like, oh, maybe I kill all mages instead. Because maybe I don't, because Templars took my sister, mages killed my mum. They killed and desecrated her corpse. Like maybe I go postal on it.
Yeah.
But I was with Anders, so I did say the line, maybe the Templars aren't entirely wrong. And then he's like, what the fuck do you mean by that? Oh, of course they're wrong. And then I was like, don't.
I had Fenris with me, and not Anders, and not Meryl. It was Varric, Fenris, Aveline at the time. And
I had Aveline, Anders, and Varric, because I was like, I need my best friend, I need the captain of the guard, and I need the person who I'm like romancing right now.
That's pretty much it.
That's it. Right?
And bringing him along, it was the first time I've gotten to be like, fuck magic, fuck this. Like, I can't, And like, I have also come around on the idea that like me saying fuck magic in response to my mom's corpse being desecrated does not necessarily mean that I have to, like, that Hawk will hold that opinion forever. It's just like
it's I was the same. It's like, obviously you're gonna say that. Like, there's to chastise someone whose mother has just been tortured, desecrated, and brought back to life, and be like, actually, I don't like anyone who does that, is fine. It's like, you're pissed, I'll allow it.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to inform how I move with this character, like, permanently. It's just that was that reaction. So Leandra dies in your arms. You
brutal.
For some reason, I don't really know how this makes sense in the lore, but you kill all the demons, and then Leandra is suddenly Leandra again.
I think it's because it's her head.
I like that. I'll ride with it, and then she is able to like say a proper goodbye to you.
And what was your response? Not that it really carries over, but I think it informs the character of how does Ash react to holding the mother, because there is like, you have the I failed you option, you have the solemn goodbye, like it's like done, like full stop. and then you have a middle one that I can't remember because Hawk this whole time was like, oh, I failed everyone. Like, this was my one job was to save the people close to me, and I can't even fucking do that right.
I think I did the kind response, not the like guilty one. And yeah, because I've been such a sarcastic little bitch to my mom literally the entire time that I've known myself. So it was like, no, just say the loving
just say
thing.
anything right now.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, man. It's really rough.
It's really rough. And then everybody comes to visit you to check on you and do like a little wellness check on you. Very
brutal. It's great. It's like it's fun because the end of Act 1 you lose your sibling, and then the end of Act 2 you lose your mother, and then it's really going on in Act 3 being like Hawk, like the past 5 years have been utterly devastating to Hawk. Like, whoever your Hawk is, they have truly nothing left. And I think that's fun because I know that this act is setting you up for extremes. It's like extreme one way, extreme the other. And the fact that they've spent the past 2 acts truly shitting on you consistently and making sure that Hawk has nothing. And then is like, which extreme are they going to hit?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you going to react to losing everything?
Down?
Exactly, yeah. I think that's interesting. Yeah, it fucking sucks. I did go a little anti-mage for a bit. I went back to Hawk's roots, but then Anders was there, and Anders was like, please don't go down this road. And she was like, I'm just pissed. Just, like, give me a minute, please.
Yeah.
And then, I was thinking about breaking up with him, actually. I was thinking about fully like cutting off ties, and I was like, I don't know. I the thing that was holding me back from it is that this is a video game and I won't be able to go back in. Like, I won't be able to have like an on again, off again thing. It's like if I break it, I end it. And it's like I kind of wanted to break it off and then rejoin. And I think in my canon, that's what they did. She was so angry that she like lashed out against mages, and then he was like, he like yelled back about something about mages being positive, and she's like, I actually can't fucking handle you right now. Get out of my house. And then after a little bit, there's going to be a time skip, and in that time skip, they like rekindle because she's like, listen, I watched my mother's corpse try to kill me, and then he's like, I get it. I also reacted poorly, and then they're like, Yeah.
I think that Fenris and I canonically had fuck mages sex immediately. After this,
yeah.
And then
he stuck his mystical hand in your ass.
I wish that you actually would die. I think that if you I think that if I found someone stitching your face onto a pile of mangled corpses, I would be like, yeah, let him.
Yeah, let him do that. Fuck that guy. He made fun of my mythical boyfriend.
How fucking...
How fucking dare you do that?
Yeah. And
so then, yes,
there are the elven prisoners that are wanted for murder, like you said, and they want to join the Qun for protection. I don't know if we mentioned that, which is like, I think very interesting because it's like, you can't do that. What a loophole! But we just played a whole game
about loopholes, about the Grey Warden-based loopholes,
and how like anybody in the world is allowed to get a fresh start. You can take the black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I found that interesting.
That is actually fun. I actually didn't draw the Grey Warden parallels because I was mainly like, what I like about this game is how. So the Arishdoc of this unit is so like, this city sucks and actually needs to burn because everyone is unhappy and everything is wrong and no one has any fucking discipline, and it's like, ew, that's a little gross, the words that you're saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, someone comes to him and is like, hey, listen, I've done a lot of bad, possibly to your own people. I want to take the Qun. I want to convert. And he's like, okay, I will kill everyone that tries to take you because you're my people now. And I think that's really fun because I also like to draw parallels with Florence on that front, which is why I think they get on so well, is that he is like, do whatever you want, but as soon as you become my people, it's like, you're under my brutal murder protection. And Florence is like, yeah, same. You can try to kill me, but as soon as you're like,
so fun.
hey, I want to be, I'm in your team. She's like, I actually don't care what you do to me now. If we're on the same team, then we're on the same team. Like Meryl tried to kill her, and she's still like bringing her along, and then she was like, fine, do your fucking stupid magic spells. Don't hurt anyone, please. Make sure the team is safe, and all this shit. It's like she really believes in that ideology.
Wow.
Which I like.
Yeah. Ash is just like, I mean, the Arashok is fine, but to be like, the situation has to be monitored and not by the fucking guard or the Templars because they don't know anything that they're doing, but people who pay attention to how tensions are growing and how like people are feeling. It's like, I've gotta stay vigilant.
I have a fun question. There is so many times in this game where people ask you, is Lothering still your home or is Kirkwall your home?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I've said some things, including that I think there's something at some point. You might say this might be a thing from Act 1. Where I said something like, I don't have, like, that place is dead.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's
there is
answer.
A guy in this act also who, this might be in Isabel's quest. He might be it's mentioned that it's like, oh, there's someone from Lothering that you have to go speak to, and then he's like, hey, we're Lotherings, like, we were both from there, maybe we could have a pally relationship. And because Florence is like, yeah, Lothering is my home. I fucking hate Kirkwall. I think this whole city is just completely dog shit. So she was like, yeah, sure, we can be friends because we're both from Lothering, and that's like hometown. Yeah.
Ash's responses to that question have always been something akin to, doesn't matter what I feel, Lothering's dead. Like I cannot be bothered to entertain that emotion right now. I can't go back there, can I? So then, like...
So who cares?
So stop fucking asking me about it. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I gotta love the situation that I'm in, and I gotta figure it out. Like, Lothering's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. But yeah. So, there are these two elves that are being guarded. You need to go... There's something to do with Sister Patrice, who is now Mother Patrice. This is actually before this.
Yeah, that's something else. Yeah.
There's something else. Yeah, because that's with Sir Varnal.
Yeah, that's a whole...
This is Anders' quest thing. So Sister Patrice is now Mother Patrice, and then you meet the Grand Cleric and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, you do this. This is following the Cune. The Arishtok was like, well, what would you do, Hawk, in this situation? And I said, I would protect these people because they're your people. Both
absolutely.
the elves are like, yeah, a Templar like assaulted our sister, so we killed the Templar. And I was like, yeah, good on you, mate. Like, do that. And so I just let them like live.
I like that. That's in line with both of our characters for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun. Because Act 1, they were like the same person.
Yeah.
And then they had this one splitting event, so they will occasionally re-hit this same notes. It's interesting. Gosh, what happens after this? I lied to him because he's like, hey, do you know where this grand relic is that we're looking for? And obviously you know that Isabel has it. And I was like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You then go to leave. And then I can't remember the end of this quest. Oh, beans.
So
this is when I stopped writing notes.
So once you go to the... maybe there's more to... I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but When you encourage the Arishok to protect the elves, the Arishok, regardless of what you say, is like, this city is enough. You're all dysfunctional. You don't know how to run your own lives. And you don't know how to take care of your own people. As evidenced by all of the people that keep running away here to join the fucking Qun. And so he is like, unfortunately, your city has to die. And he starts fighting you. And so,
well, not quite yet, because the Viscount's son is still missing, and you're like, okay, but where is the Viscount's son?
Oh, we didn't do the Viscount's son thing, yeah.
And then you like go to the Chantry, because I think you get a leg that I think the Arishok might be like, I don't know, he's in the fucking Chantry or something. Okay, fine. You go there. And then it turns out that he is dead. He is dead in some way. You don't really tell. He's like, it looks like he's praying, and then you go up to him, and then he falls down. And it turns out that Patrice, now Mother Patrice, did a little murder on him, and is framing you for said murder.
That Mother Patrice.
Because she has been trying, ever since Act 1, has been trying to stoke the flames of the Qunari-Kirkwall conflict to get the Qunari to be eliminated.
Yeah, because she's... Yeah.
Yeah. You fight her people, and then you fight them, you fight Patrice, and then the Grand Cleric comes over and is like, hey, stop this. And she's like, look at what these people are doing. They're protecting the Qunari, and the Qunari are evil. And you're like, come on, dude, what are you doing? This is so stupid. And then the Grand Cleric is like, yes, Patrice, you're going to be tried and probably executed for the fact that you killed the Viscount's son. The Grand Cleric walks up the stairs, and then a Qunari like steps out of a side room, kills Patrice, because the Qunari like, this is our problem, because he was part of the Qun, which means that she killed one of us, she needs to die. He kills her, the Grand Cleric essentially lets it happen. But in doing that, a huge war breaks out between all of the Qunari and Kirkwall, because the Qunari then are like, yeah, your people are dysfunctional, this city sucks, we're going to take it by force. And they rush out, and they start fighting everyone. And it's awesome. It's a great final
you fight
sequence.
All the streets of Kirkwall, like
everywhere that you know.
Yeah, it's a great like... It's a great like you're going through these old haunts, but
you
now
run through where you used to live, where Gamlen's house is, and shit like that.
Yeah, I think would have landed more if all of my memories of these streets weren't littered in blood. Because I do think that like this is a really cool story end, but mechanically, I've been doing this the whole time.
For ages. Well, it's what they do in Denerim. But the reason why Denerim is so huge is because
this
you
was
don't
a
fucking
place
kill
of
anyone
peace.
in Denerim.
I didn't kill anyone in Denerim, especially not the marketplace like of Denerim, like where we are. Like this is where I shopped and where I visited those two queens who like Dragonbone, and you know, like it's like this is a nice place. This is where I ran into my ex for the first time and didn't kill him. So much happened there that was not killing people.
Yeah. But speaking of Denerim, when you're running through the streets slaughtering Qunari, you have, oh my god, my favorite moment in this act. You're fighting, bam, 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 there's loads of guys. And then you get a bunch of like Templar-looking guys who rush in and start helping you. As the fight was ending, I looked to my left and I was like, I fucking remember that guy. And then you kill the last guy, the cutscene starts, and then Alistair turns up, and he's like, what's up, dude? We popped in, and then this started happening. Like, we popped in for an unrelated incident, the Grey Wardens did, and then look at all this shit that's going on. Isn't that fucking crazy? And I'm like, oh, hi, dude. I don't know who you are, but that's really fucking cool. And he helped me in a fight. What a cool fucking guy.
Yeah.
I was so fucking stoked. I was screaming Alistair.
Yes.
I was like, that's my fucking boy.
That's
He's
my
back
guy.
and he's fucking just slaughtering guys with me again. And then at the end, he's like, I have an old friend who, I don't need this, but I had an old friend who gave me this thing, so it'll be, I imagine that you would like it. And then he handed me an item, which is completely fucking useless to me, but it's like Quinn's necklace, which I think is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do you not want to help me? And he's like, Grey Warden business, babe, I can't.
Yeah, I gotta get
involved.
to it.
We can't get involved. We got involved in major politics a few years ago. Woof. It went really bad for us. Good luck, though.
Yeah.
And leaves, and I'm like, this is my favorite boy.
That is, I think, when we get later on that Cassandra is like, oh, after you did what we do in Legend in Legacy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And Cassandra is like,
And
the Grey Wardens
flooded with Grey Wardens.
took over that place. So that's why I think it's like we turned that place over. We leave that, and then the Grey Wardens show up.
The head of the Grey Wardens turn up, and then
yeah,
yeah,
and that's what
like,
makes
hey,
Cassandra's
Kirk,
story, where she's like,
zone.
I came over to inspect that, and a bunch of Grey Wardens told me I wasn't allowed.
That makes sense as to why that's before Act 2, actually, yeah. And why he's in town at all.
Yeah.
Did that happen with you? You looked confused when I first mentioned Alistair.
I thought this was like, I thought we were back. I don't know. I just got like my timeline moved around.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, literally no. But yes, I got the Alistair thing.
My Grey Warden's best friend turned up. So excited about it.
Incredible.
Your old love, or someone who fell in love with you and then
Yeah, no, not ever. No, not my old love. Not even a little bit. Guy I knew.
He might be mine at some point.
Guy
I do
who
really like Alistair.
fell in love with me, but
of course, because you're the greatest. You're like the most. You're one of the greatest paragons of all time.
The fucking coolest. Yeah, the most dwarf to ever have lived.
To ever do the damn thing. Then you fight your way up to Hightown.
Yep.
And then when you're at Hightown, go on. What's up?
Oh, I was just gonna talk with you about
Hightown
and Orsina.
You're doing a bunch of fights, and then you get saved by someone, and it's like, oh my god, who is this? It turns out to be fucking Knight Commander Meredith, who
we keep hearing about.
Fucking awesome. We keep hearing about, and to be fair, she's fucking sick. She turns up and is cool as hell. Is she a fascist? Yes, but we don't know that at the minute.
Pretty.
We don't know that at the minute. Get your head out your damn ass. She's cool.
Okay. Okay.
Florence in this bit loves her because Florence is like, oh, thank God. Like, I need someone fucking competent. Who's here. And then you meet
Orsina.
Who's a mage.
Yeah,
he's like the first enchanter of the Circle Tower, and you also find Bethany. Hey, your sister's back. Yeah, she was not happy to see me. Tell you that much. I think we have a tad of a rivalry going on.
I don't have a rivalry, but I'm like just in the center, and she was also not happy with me.
I think it might be that then. She's just like not stoked to see you for some reason.
Well, we didn't bring her to the deep roads, and she got fucking caught by the mage police. I
guess so.
And she's just trapped away from her whole family.
And she turns up and she's like, yeah, you didn't take me with you. And it's like, well, listen, it's her mum's fault. Oh shit, by the way, mum's dead.
Oh shit, yeah, mum's dead.
She got piloted by a demon.
Yep.
Oopsie doopsie. Which that was nice. Nice to see Bethany.
But how's magic school going?
How's magic school? Then you have a choice of following one of their either Knight Commander Meredith or the first Enchanter's plan, I went with Meredith's, which I feel like I should have gone first enchanter, really, but I went with Meredith, which like it was a decision I made, and then I was like, oh, it's just because she seems competent, even though she's a Templar right now, and I think there was still some resentment over the fact that my mother died. She was still a little pissed at mages as a whole and not really trusting them, but ultimately it's whatever. It was a bad decision that I'm trying to like retcon in my own mind. You find out that the Quinari are gathering up all of the nobles and shoving them into the Viscount's house. What did you do? Who did you go with?
Orsino. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Make a distraction.
Yep, always. Yeah.
You rock up, you fight your way through, and either way that you decide, you then get into the Viscount's keep, and then the Aristoc has the Viscount's head and then throws it down and is like, yep, I fucking killed him. This place is useless. Hey, who here wants to become Cune? Everyone else is going to be executed. Meredith is like, hey, we're going to guard here. Can you go in and kind of figure that out whilst we hold back all the forces? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Florence walks in and is like, what's up, bitch? Do you want to throw down? And then there's like a bit of a fucking confrontation between the two of you. Both of you are like yelling at each other, and it's like, well, I'm going to, like, I challenge you to a fight. The winner wins. And then I'm like, sure. And then one of the Quinari behind me dies, gets kicked through the wall or the door. And I'm like, who's that? Click clack in her little boots. Isabel comes back and is like, I couldn't fucking leave. Sorry, babe. I had a change of heart. And from your face, she didn't.
Nope. She did not. She did not. Nope.
Gutting.
I that was a thing I wanted to make happen, and I failed to do it.
That sucks.
Yep.
Well, you're going to be able to finish Fenris's quests, and I'm going to be able to finish Isabel's quest.
Yep, there you go.
That's
there you go. That's it. That's it. That's our payoff for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well, then the Aristoc is like, okay, 1-on-1 fight. To me, he was like 1-on-1 fight if, and it's a fight over Isabel of who's going to take Isabel. We're either going to take her and execute her, or you're going to take her and that fight's over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree to those terms? And I'm like, hell yeah, I agree to those terms. Let's rock and roll, baby. And you have the best fight in the game, which is your 1-on-1 with the Aristoc. I think is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't have a 1-on-1. I have to fight all the fucking Qunari.
No way!
And
it's because you have no bargaining power, is it?
She doesn't return the book. Yeah, she doesn't return it.
Wow. Oh my god. I skipped past that because I figured that she would return. Like, it's not that not that I figured she would return, but I figured that you're going to have a 1-on-1 anyway. It's just like the circumstances of the 1-on-1 is a little different.
Nope.
Wow, that's mad.
Qunari fight as a whole army. But I won anyway.
Nice. Power.
Truly, by the end of that fight, I'm hiding behind the fucking pillars, and I'm just like, truly, like, running till all of my spells, all of my abilities recharge, and then I stop, hit every single one, and then run, and then I run around the entire. That's my. That was the whole strategy. Run until everything refuels. Okay. And
then oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't have a run one, but I did have to I had to lock in a little bit for this fight because I'm not a damage dealer. I'm a Reaver now. Important. I'm a Reaver Templar, and Reavers get stronger the less health you have, and a lot of their abilities are losing health, which is so killer when there's like a lot of people around you and you have Anders to heal on a 1-on-1 fight. oh boy, that's dicey. I do so much fucking damage, but I really need to keep on top of my health.
I'm so thrilled because obviously I also took Reaver.
Oh my god. Hell yeah. What's your other one then?
But my other one is...
I'm Reaver Templar.
Not Templar.
Obviously, you're not Templar.
What is it
Reaver,
called?
the other one. We had a cool one-on-one fight. I had to really lock in because my game... I have an ability that doubles all damage to me, but also doubles all of my output. And I have a passive, which is... Well, it's an activated ability, which is... I have like an AoE circle, which the more I'm hurting, the more I like do a tiny bit of damage to myself every few seconds, and then I pulse a bunch of damage out as well. And it increases damage output depending on how much health I lose. So I'm always dancing in like the 25% of health range as I'm fighting, and it's fucking dicey. God, it's fun. That is cool. Like on the one-on-one fight, when I was like, all right, I gotta get down to around this range so I can maximize the damage output, but then also I need to do my like healing abilities because this guy has a grab. And the grab is pretty rough. Yeah.
That is interesting. Well, we have decent health bars. For me, it's like...
I have an absolute crazy huge health bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's like weirdly keeping Varric alive has been the struggle.
I struggle to keep pretty much... so... Florence hasn't gone down once in this whole game, but all of my other companions have at some point completely beefed it. Just because my shit is... I've got my shit so on lock, which is in all AoEs, who cares? It's like, I'll just clean the fight. But on this one-on-one where I have no healing output, aside from potions and like one ability that I have, which is great because it's deal damage equal to like how much health you've lost and then also heal a bunch of health. I think that's a great finisher. But in the one-on-one fight, because Anders is my healer. Anders is always like, I mean, honestly, every mage I've slightly put into spirit just so they have like a little bit of healing, but Anders is my big healer. And also, I'm not a damage dealer, but all of my boys are. So everyone else I've just kind of soaked into, you do as much damage as humanly possible, so I don't need to worry about it, and I just defend and like pull aggro and all that jazz. But on the one-on-one fight, it was pretty difficult, but I really liked that because it made me engage with the mechanics in a way that's fun. And unlike in Origins, Dragon Age 2 doesn't want you to engage with mechanics. It wants you to just beat the hell out of everyone 100 million times. But in this fight, it's like, I'm gonna focus on the abilities that I'm doing. I'm gonna be doing all this other stuff. And it's like, I'm actually engaging because it's not a wave of 50 enemies. It's one guy who they've given... This guy has an AoE that you need to like get out the way of. This guy does a combo of this grab.
I know, it's awful.
So you have to make sure that you're like get out the way, or you notice when you're like you soak up one damage, you soak up the damage of a second attack, you heal, and then he grabs you, so it's fine. And all this stuff that I'm like, yes, give me like
a
let
reason
me
to
engage
use this.
with fights.
Yeah,
it's great. But I killed him, and then. Oh god, it's so hot because Florence is Quentin is very cool, and he's very dear to me because he's the fucking blood mage. He's like he's still in my canon. I consider him to be the greatest mage that's like currently still living. But Florence is fucking cool. Florence is like cool in like a man. She kind of sucks, but isn't. She has an axe and a shield and she's just fucking awesome, and she's always like slightly covered in blood because she's this fucking crazy frontliner. And you kill the Arishtok, and then she killed him like with the axe, like fucking, and then he like looked at her and then said something, and she just like dead-eyed looked at him like, "What are you gonna do? Huh? Do something." And then she turns to the nearest Quinari, and she just like turns and looks, and then he looks away, and then they all start leaving because she's like, do something. What's up, lads? Let's go. I'll take everyone on in this room. I just killed your fucking leader. Let's go. But I'm like, man, she's fucking awesome.
They leave, but they are like, we will be back.
They do say that.
They're like, we're coming back, and
it's the thing that I think is really cool is that she looked at everyone else, and they were turning their heads to like not make eye contact with this like blood-soaked like angry woman, and I was like, God, she's so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Coolest shit. He just made Hawk just like, and then Night Commander Meredith comes in and she's like, holy shit, is it done already? Holy fuck, that's quick.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, babe, I'm good at what I do. And then all of the nobles are like, thank you so much for saving us. And then she names you the champion of Kirkwall.
Now you are the champion of Kirkwall.
Fucking cool.
Incredible. You are getting your title in this game 2/3 of the way into it.
Awesome.
Fascinating
really cool.
to me. Such an interesting shake up to the usual narrative. I love the hero's journey, like where it's like you're the chosen one. You get your title before you're comfortable in your before you even accept that it's your job. Like people are already calling you, warden or inquisitor or whatever. Like it's you now. Your purpose is hard won and late in your story, and that is
and it's fun because
cool.
there's a few things which I like in this. It's that it's hard won. It comes in really late into your story. Like the game opens calling you the champion of Kirkwall, and it's like, oh, you want to know the champion of Kirkwall story? Okay, let me tell it. And so it's like, okay, so we know that this
you're getting there.
Becomes it.
Yeah.
But also at this point, when it cuts to Cass and Varric talking, Cass is no longer on the offensive. She's no longer like, I don't fucking believe you, tell me what happened. She's like, huh. And now is interested. She's like, no, I want you to keep telling the story to the end, but I didn't know it went down like this. And it's like, she in canon is now coming over to your and Varric's side because Varric is like, no, you have to listen to my whole story because if I tell it in parts, you're not going to believe it. And it's like, with the beginning of the game where she was so aggressive, she's now like calmed down and is like, interesting. Tell me what else happens with her.
Because
what else does she do?
It now makes sense. Hawk is not... Cassandra comes in hot Cassandra comes in so hot in the beginning. She needs the champion. And she's what's the word? Mythologized the champion.
Yeah.
And wants the champion to be this, like, kind of perfect thing. Varric is telling her the real story.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, like, resistant to that at first. And then...
Yeah. Well, is it that she thinks you're perfect? Or does she think that the story of you is incorrect and you're a liar? Because isn't she, like... She just doesn't believe you a lot of... Like, she doesn't believe Varric in a lot of it?
She doesn't... She doesn't believe Varric because she thinks Varric is a liar. And Varric is a storyteller, and Varric is an author, and that he's going to pen a story. And is hiding where Hawk is. That's what she ultimately wants to know.
I read that as different. I read it as she wants to know where Hawk is because she thinks that Hawk is the villain. And she's like, I'm going to go find and bring them to justice. But then Varric, in telling this story, has made her be like, oh, maybe they're not the villain. Maybe they're actually... Maybe there's more to this and I'm incorrect.
It's not... It's ambiguous whether or not...
What she's doing. And,
Hawk is the villain or not, but that Hawk is a larger-than-life character. Like Hawk is to Cassandra, like Hawk is this kind of otherworldly thing that she's seeking. And Varric knows, and he's lying about it. But now I think the story is that Hawk is making sense as a person, and that she's believing the story now and getting grounded. And that's my interpretation of it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's so... And this is what angers me about this fucking game. It's so fucking good. The story is awesome. And the because the problem is like, I would... I would be more susceptible to like no, this game is fucking awesome, toe to tip, if it wasn't like 80%, hey, do this. You know what? As well, we came into this and you were like, I hope you like seeing the same 5 maps. I don't give a fuck about the maps. I'm fine with it. I grew up playing JRPGs. I have the same battle screen for everything, like 100% of the time. Who cares? I've never once been bothered by the battle maps. The fact that I know them means that when I enter a room, I can be like, okay, I go around this places, I find the little ores, and then I do my silly little quests. But it's the fact that the fights are just so fucking boring that really slows me down. That's majority of the time what you're doing in this game. But every story beat is fucking the best shit.
I know.
It's so cool. And it makes me feel like God. Like, it's so sick. That one-on-one fight was awesome because it felt earned. It felt cool and you know, memorable. The fact that I one-on-one to the fucking Arishtok, who, you know, they weren't friends, but they were like pseudo allies, you know, and both of them, it came down to like all right, our ideals are now clashing in such a huge way that one of us is going to have to die to protect them. And it was like, you know, it was the one of this society needs fixing, and the other one who's like, I actually don't care about this society, but you are threatening my friend, so I am going to have to kill you.
That's
for that.
it. Yeah,
and it's awesome, and it's great, and I thought it was what a cool story, what a cool gang of people, and that's what's frustrating to me. I would genuinely, in games that people are like, hey, we don't need to remaster or remake games, I'm like, you could fucking remake Dragon Age 2, and I would be super down for that. I actually think that this game needs a full work on.
It would be incredible. I honestly, genuinely don't need Dragon Age 2 to have even, like, I just delete the combats that don't matter. Have every combat except for like the really important ones be replaced with a cutscene or a narration or anything.
One wave of guys. I would take one wave of guys. I would take one wave of guys with 2 wave of guys health. I just can't be bothered with the 4 waves of dudes stuff. Because that fucking sucks. Because it's like,
it's silly.
By wave 2, I'm just waiting for all my shit to reset. So now I'm just like waiting on auto attack until my shit goes back, and I'm like, this fucking sucks. This is boring as hell.
Yeah.
My team's getting strong enough to now where it's like it's a little like arbitrary because I carry around a lot of mages with me, so I have a lot of AoEs and all this shit, but it's still fucking boring. I don't know. I love it though. The end of this act fucks. Every companion story fucks. God,
yeah,
I know. I collectively adore them all so much. I am absolutely gutted that I forgot Fenris because I double checked and I can't believe I passed him by. That's
I know.
Dreadful.
Well, I'll never get Isabella to love me. It's just never gonna happen.
What do you mean? You must have done it before. Have you never got Isabel to... You've never got Isabel to join you?
Never. She never goes back.
This is the best day of my life. I know more about Dragon Age than you. That's so fun.
Yep, I never get her. Never.
Wow. That's so interesting. I wonder why that is.
It's because I meet her late. I've already all right, so I know just normally I've already decided who like my best, by the time I meet her, I've decided who my best friends are and who I'm romancing and whatever. And so those are the people I am concerned with, like how I'm getting on with them. And so she just kind of falls behind a lot.
Damn, that's crazy. You know what? I think that's interesting because I might think similarly, but because of that, I went out of my way to take her on 90% of my missions.
Yeah.
And I think that might have pushed her, because again, in this game, to get up friendship or rivalry, you have to take people with you. So I do take her out.
None of that shit, yeah.
None of that. Which is fine. I understand why. I mean, admittedly, even just accepting to do people's side missions, you up their friendship by like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
But I would kind of like, another way. I would like a Persona-esque hangout mechanic where I can... Oh, speaking of hangout mechanics, this isn't a mechanic. The amount of times where I've gone into the Hanged Man, or you said it earlier with Fenris, you go somewhere else, and then it's like Isabel and Meryl are hanging out and chatting, and they're just doing it, and then you walk up, and then Meryl would just get up and leave. She'd say hi and then leave, and it's like you go, and then Isabel and Fenris are hanging out. Isabel gets up and is like, "Hey, bud," and then bounces, and it's like these guys are just friends outside of me. Here.
They're just hanging out,
and it's like they have their own lives, and it's like in Legacy, Varric and Anders, who I had with me, they were both talking about Anders losing money to Fenris when they're all hanging out at the Hangman. And I'm like, these guys have lives. They're doing shit outside. And it's like, what do you mean that Anders and Fenris just hang out? What do you mean by that? There's no way that happens. And it's like, yeah, they just hang out. And they were like playing cards with Varric one night. And Anders just lost a bunch of money to him and now owes Fenris a bunch. I'm like, this team is great, actually.
Yeah.
They fully, if you weren't here, I think the reason why Hawk is important is because Hawk is here to introduce everyone to each other. But if they, if you weren't
if Hawk
here,
died,
but they all kind
fine.
of, if Hawk wasn't here or died in Lothering, I think Varric would probably have gotten everyone together through Varric's weird escapades, and then the story would almost be the same.
Yep, because Varric is the main character of Dragon Age 2. We've gotten there.
We've established this.
We've gotten
He's
there.
The first character that we opened with.
He's the most important character to like the introduction of the plot, to your character development, to pretty much everything. Yeah.
Truly. And I get I'm like truly Varric pilled. Like I get it. I get why everyone is like obsessed with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the fucking best.
Excellent.
My little guy.
Do you know what we're doing next?
We're doing the Felicia Day DLC.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we have to do the DLC, and then, I'm so sorry, surprise homework. We have to watch a little TV show.
A whole TV show?
It's like a short. It's a short thing.
Is it the Netflix one?
No, it is not. We'll get to that, but no, that's not till after Inquisition.
You're making me do fucking homework in my video game?
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Oh my god. Okay. How do I know what TV show I'm going to watch?
We're going to watch it together. You and me.
Oh.
We're going to watch it together.
Oh.
Because it is worth it for me.
Bad?
Personally. I have to.
Good?
I want you to look at my face.
We have so much Interview with the Vampire to watch still.
Yeah. We can take, like, I don't know, 40 minutes to...
Oh, okay, sure.
To watch this instead. I promise.
Are we not allowed to talk? Do we have to sit in silence and just take notes in quiet as we watch this fucking show?
I haven't decided if I want to just record us as we watch it. Or...
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I have to be present when you watch it.
Okay. Is it a Dragon Age show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking so around it that I was like, is it just like it's like it references Dragon Age and specifically this DLC in a weird way, and that's why we have to watch it?
One, I would never waste our time. We have so much to get through. I would never waste our time on something that was only going to reference Dragon Age. And two, fuck you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Okay. So that's next week. It's Thursday. It's midnight on technically Friday.
Yeah.
When are we next recording? Because we need to organize a time. I mean, I'm free tomorrow. We can hang out and do it tomorrow.
We're going to figure it out. It's fine.
We'll figure it out.
Plus, this DLC is short, so don't.
Okay. Is it the DLC first and then the TV show?
Yes, correct.
Okay, sure. And you're not even going to tell me what it's called?
Shut up. Stop
You're not even
Googling things.
First of all, people listen to the show and need to know.
And I will
what the
talk to
fucking...
them separately without you.
Do you want me to take my headphones off?
You listen to this podcast, and I know it, and you know I know it. You cannot know.
Jesus Christ. If you're listening to this in the year of our Lord 2029, I need you to DM and say, "Hey, dude, what was the name of the show that you had to watch?"
Don't say it's in reference to this podcast. Really freak me out about the whole situation. Please and thank you.
Okay. Who's your favorite? We can't talk about favorite companion. We'll have to do that at the end of Act 3.
Yeah.
Which is in 2 weeks.
Yep.
My God.
I know.
I'm ready to be done with these mechanics. I'm not ready to not see any of these people again.
I know. I want to... No. That's spoilery. Well...
Is it? What's up?
I think that you get more... I genuinely think you get more satisfying updates about these characters
than you do about the Origins characters?
Than you do about the Origins characters.
That makes sense to me.
In Inquisition.
This was the first of the franchisement of these games. And also, yes, people talk about, like, people really love Origins, and specifically love the Grey Warden, who, God, I hope, turns up in Veilgaurd so bad. But they talk about these companions infinitely more.
Yeah.
Going into Origins, I knew the characters because I knew the characters, but I didn't really know who Liliana was. Like, the first time I played it, I didn't know who Liliana was, didn't know who Zevran, didn't know Stent, didn't know any of them. I knew about Morrigan because Morrigan is the character in that game. Yeah. Morrigan and Alistair are like the characters. In this, I knew everyone pretty much. I didn't know about Sebastian. I didn't know about Aveline, but that was it. I knew everyone just from cultural osmosis. Being someone who plays a lot of video games and is like in the RPG realm. I knew who Anders was. I knew who Fenris was. I knew Isabel. I knew Varric, of course. I knew Meryl a little bit. I didn't know Meryl that much, but admittedly, I didn't know Bethany or Carver. But they're like also it's like you can kind of switch out between the two of them, so you didn't really know them. Yeah. But like the characters in this one, I already knew going in. It's why I was so excited in Awakening that I met Anders, because I knew who Anders was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fucking great cast.
Great cast and crew.
Great cast.
Yeah.
Right then.
That's it.
That's it. Do the heavens have any words for us?
No. No.
Beautiful.
There's no God in Kirkwall, I think.
There's no God in Kirkwall. There's no God. And you know what? Because there's no God in Kirkwall, idiot, bastard, stupid children.
Sons of bitches.
You fucking pathetic,
you vile, pestilent,
disgusting
little polyps.
Scum.
You fucking abs.
Your
struggles have only just begun.
Get out of here. Go eat a brick.
Fuck Jesus.